Dear students, in the previous session, we have seen 50 most important questions with answers of SSLC science, which may be useful for the upcoming examinations. In this class, let us see next 65 questions, which may be useful for the upcoming annual examinations. Question number 51. What are the methods used by plants to get rid of excretory products? We can see the answer here. Plants get rid of excess of water by transpiration. Number 2. Waste products are stored in cellular vacuoles. Number 3. Waste products may be stored in leaves that fall off. Number 4. Resins and gums are stored in old xylem. And the last method is some waste substances excreted into the soil from roots. Next question. What is double circulation? What are its importances? Blood goes through the heart twice during each cycle. The importance is keeps the oxygenated blood separated from deoxygenated blood. And the next one is allows a more efficient supply of oxygen to the body cells. Question number 53. What are the differences between the transport of materials in xylem and phloem? We can see the transport of materials in xylem here. It helps in the transport of water and minerals. Here in the transport of materials in phloem, it helps in the transport of food. Next one. Water is transported upwards from roots to all other parts of the plants. Here we can see that food is transported in both upward and downward directions. And the third difference is transport in xylem occurs with the help of simple physical forces such as transpiration pull. And here we can say that transport of food in phloem requires energy in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Next question. What is translocation in plants? Transport of soluble products of photosynthesis is known as translocation. Next one. Define transpiration. Loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plants is known as transpiration. Here we can see the structure of the neuron. This diagram is very important for the examination. Students, you all should practice the diagrams which are important for the examination. Structure of neuron. We can see the parts here: cell body, nucleus, dendrite, axon, nerve ending. Next question. Question number 56. Differentiate between an artery and a vein. Artery, it carries blood away from the heart. Veins carries the blood to the heart. Arteries are thick-walled. Veins are thin-walled. Here, valves are absent in the arteries. In veins, valves are present. Next question. What is reflex action? Which part of the brain is responsible for this? We can see the answer. Sudden action in response to something in the environment is known as reflex action. The part of the brain which is responsible for this is spinal cord. Next one. Write the functions of A. Forebrain, B. Cerebellum, C. Midbrain, and D. Medulla. We can see the functions here. First one is forebrain. It controls the voluntary actions, stores information collected from sense organs, that is memory, receives sensory impulses from various body parts and integrates it. And the next one is sensation of hunger. And the functions of cerebellum. Number 1, controls posture and balance, control precision of voluntary actions. Next, function of midbrain, controls involuntary activities. Function of medulla: controls involuntary actions, for example, blood pressure, salivation, and vomiting. Next question. Name different type of tropisms exhibited by the plants and write their meaning. First, let us see what is tropism. A tropism is a growth towards or away from a stimulus. First one is phototropism, the directional growth of an organism in response of light. It is controlled by the hormone auxin. Next one, thigmotropism, plant growth in response to touch or contact with a solid object. For example, touch me not plant. Next one, geotropism, growth in response to gravity. Hydrotropism, directional growth in response to water. And the last one is chemotropism, growth in response to chemicals. Question number 60. List the important plant hormones and write their functions. Here we can see the plant hormones and their functions. First one is auxin. It helps the cells to grow longer. Next one is gibberellin. The function of gibberellin hormone is helps in the growth of stem. Next hormone is cytokinins, promote cell division. And the last one is abscisic acid, inhibits growth, exwilting of the leaves. These are some of the important plant hormones and their functions. Next we can see a diagram here which is important for the examination. A schematic diagram of an electric circuit comprising cell, electric bulb, ammeter and the plug key. This diagram is also an important diagram for the upcoming examination. Let us see the next question. Question number 61. How does nervous system differ from the endocrine system in forming control and coordination in animals? We can see differences between the nervous system and the endocrine system here. First one, in nervous system, transmission of information takes place through neurons. Here in endocrine system, transmission of information takes place through blood in the form of hormones. And the next difference here we are saying, information is transmitted mainly in the form of electric impulses. Here in the endocrine system, information is transmitted in the form of chemical message. Next one, electrical impulses will reach only those cells that are connected by nervous tissue. Here in endocrine system, chemical messages reach every cell in the body. And the next difference is, in nervous system, response is faster. Here in endocrine system, response is slower. Next question. Question number 62. How does our body respond when adrenaline is secreted in the blood? We can see the answer. It speeds up the heartbeat and hence supplies more oxygen to the muscles. The breathing rate also increases due to contractions of diaphragm and the rib muscles. Next question. List the important endocrine glands, the hormone they secrete and their function. We can see some of the endocrine glands here and the hormones secreted by those glands and their functions. Number 1, pituitary gland. It secretes growth hormone. The function is it controls the growth, that is dwarfism and gigantism we can see here. Next gland is thyroid gland. It secretes thyroxine hormone. And the function of the hormone is it regulates carbohydrate, protein and fat metabolism. Goiter, it is related to this hormone, that is if the deficiency of iodized salt is there, goiter is caused. Next gland is adrenal gland. The hormone secreted here is adrenaline. function is increase heartbeat, blood pressure, breathing rate to face the situation. Next one, gland, pancreas. It secretes insulin hormone. It regulates the blood sugar level. The disease caused by the deficiency of insulin. If the insulin secretion is less here, it causes diabetes mellitus or diabetes. Next one is testis. Hormone here is testosterone. Changes associated with puberty in males. And next one is ovary. Hormone estrogen. Changes associated with puberty in females. Next question number 64. How is the process of pollination different from fertilization? Pollination, transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a flower. Here we can see the fertilization, fusion of male gamete with the female gamete. Next question. Explain the significant function of each structure in human male reproductive system. First one, testes, produce sperms and testosterone hormone. Next one, urethra and vas deferens, transport sperm from testes. Next one, prostate gland and seminal vesicle. Their secretion make the sperm transport easier and provide nutrition. Next one, penis, delivers the sperm to the site of fertilization. We can see another diagram here, which is important for the examination. Electric circuit for studying Ohm's law. Next question. Why do testes located in scrotum outside the abdominal cavity? Answer. Production of sperm requires lower temperature than the body temperature. Next one. Explain the significant function of each structure in human female reproductive system. Ovaries produce eggs, female gametes. Fallopian tube or oviducts carries the egg from ovary to the womb and is the site of fertilization. Uterus, structure where the fetus grow. Vagina, the sperms enter through the vaginal passage during sexual intercourse. Question number 68. What are the changes seen in the girls at the time of puberty? We can see the answer. Skin becomes oily. Pimples often develop. Breast size begins to increase with the darkening of the skin of the nipples at the tip of the breasts. Beginning of menstrual cycle. Growth of thick hairs in armpit and the genital area between the thighs. Next question. What are the advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction? The offsprings produced exhibit more diversity. It plays a prominent role in the origin of new species. Next question. What happens if egg is not fertilized in female, or how does menstruation occur? The lining of the uterus breaks down along with blood vessels. The degenerated part of the uterus along with the blood moves out of the vagina in the form of bleeding, called menstruation. One more diagram, important for the examination, resistors in series. Question number 71. What are the different methods of contraception? Number 1. Creation of mechanical barrier. Condoms on the penis or similar coverings worn in the vagina using loop or the copper T inside vagina. Next one, changing the hormonal balance by using drugs or pills. Next one, surgical methods, blocking the vas deferens in the male or the fallopian tube in the female. Question number 72. Differentiate between plumule and radical. Plumule is future shoot. Radical is future shoot here. Radical is future root. Next one, plumule, it grows towards the sun. Radical, it grows towards the soil. Next question number 73. What is placenta? Write two functions of placenta. Embryo attaches to the mother's blood with the help of a special tissue called placenta. The functions is It provides nutrients to the embryo, helps to remove the waste generated by the embryo. Question number 74. Differentiate between self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination, transfer of pollen grains within the same flower. Here in cross-pollination, transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another. And the next difference is, does not require external agency. Here it requires external agency. Next important question, question number 75. Why are traits acquired during the lifetime of an individual not inherited? The answer is, acquired traits cannot be passed on to DNA of germ cells. One more diagram we are seeing here, important for the examination, resistors in parallel. Next question. How is the sex of the child determined in human beings? Answer. Woman has a perfect pair of sex chromosomes, both called X. Man has a normal size chromosome X and the another short size chromosome Y. All children will inherit an X chromosome from mother. Child who inherit an X chromosome from father will be a girl. Child who inherit an Y chromosome from father will be a boy. Next one. What is speciation? What factors could lead to the speciation? Formation of new and distinct species in the course of evolution from the existing species is known as speciation. The factors that could lead to the rise of new species are: number 1, natural selection; number 2, genetic drift; number 3, geographical isolation. Next one, what are fossils? Fossils are the remains and relics of dead organisms of the past. Next question, differentiate between acquired traits and inherited traits. Acquired traits, the first difference is developed during the lifetime of an individual. In inherited traits here, characteristics transmitted from parent to offsprings. Next one, cannot be passed to progeny. Here can be passed on to the progeny. Next difference, doesn't bring change in DNA of germ cells. Here in inherited traits, bring changes in DNA of germ cells. Examples, here in acquired traits we can see dancing ability in man. Here in inherited traits, skin color in man. Next question, differentiate between homologous organs and analogous organs. Homologous organs, organs that have same basic structural plan and origin but different functions. In analogous organs, organs that have different origin and structural plan but same function. Example for homologous organs, hands of humans and the wings of birds. Here wings of bird and insects are the examples of the analogous organs. One more diagram, important for the examination, a pattern of concentric circles indicating the field lines of a magnetic field around a straight conducting wire. The arrows in the circle show the direction of the field lines. This figure or this diagram is also important for the examination. Let us move to the next question. Question number 81. State laws of refraction. First law, the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal to the interface of two transparent media at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Second law, that is Snell's law. For any two given pair of media, the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is a constant. Or we can write like this, sin I upon sin r is equals to constant. Question number 82. Define absolute refractive index. The ratio of the velocity of light in a vacuum to its velocity in a specified medium It is known as absolute refractive index. Next question. Define principal focus of concave lens. Parallel rays of light pass through the concave lens. The refracted rays appear to come from one point called the principal focus of concave lens. Next question. Define principal focus of convex lens. Parallel rays of light pass through convex lens. The refracted rays converge at one point called the principal focus of convex lens. Next one. Define one diopter of power of a lens. The answer. One diopter is defined as the power of a lens of focal length 1 meter. D is equals to 1 upon F. One more diagram, important for the examination. Next question. Write the lens formula. Lens formula we are seeing here 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equals to 1 upon F. V is the image distance, U object distance, F is the focal length. Question number 87. Write the magnification formula of lens. The magnification M, the formula here is V upon U. Next one. What is electric current? Which is the device used to measure electric current in the circuit? How this device should be connected in an electric circuit? Amount of charge flowing through a particular area in unit time is known as electric current. The device which is used to measure electric current in the circuit is ammeter. It should be connected in series. Next one. Define resistance. On what factors does the resistance of a conductor depend? The answer, here we are saying the answer. The property of a conductor to resist the flow of a charge through it is known as resistance. The factors that we are seeing here, the resistance of a conductor depends are: number 1, length of the conductor, B, cross-sectional area of a conductor, material of the conductor, temperature of the conductor. Question number 90. Define electric potential difference. Which is the device used to measure potential difference in the circuit? How this device should be connected in electric circuit? The work done to move a unit charge from one point to the another is known as electric potential difference. The device which is used to measure the potential difference in the circuit is voltmeter. It should be connected in parallel. One more diagram which is important for the examination we are seeing here. Next one. What are the advantages of connecting electrical devices in parallel? The answer. Number 1, the total resistance decreases. Number 2, when one component fails in the circuit, other components are not affected. Next question. State Ohm's law. At constant temperature, the potential difference V across the ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, provided its temperature remains the same. Next one. State Joule's law of heating. Joule's law of heating, H is equals to I square RT. Heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance. Number 2, directly proportional to resistance for a given current. And number 3, directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. Next one. Name the devices working based on Joule's heating. You can see the devices here: electric laundry iron, electric toaster, electric oven, electric kettle and electric heater, electric bulb, electric fuse, made up of alloy with high resistance and low melting point, electric fuse. Next one, question number 95. What is electric power? Mention any 3 formulae to calculate electric power. Rate of consumption of electric energy is electric power. SI unit is watt, that is W. P is equals to V into I, or P is equal to I square R, or P is equals to V square upon R. Okay, here's we are seeing the one more diagram which is important for the examination. Longitudinal section of flower. The parts here are ovary, style, stigma, anther, filament, petal and sepal. This diagram is also important for the examination. Next question. Why are coils of electric toasters and electric irons made of an alloy? Number 1, alloys have higher resistivity, and number 2, they have high melting point. Next one. Define magnetic field. State the characteristics of field lines. The area around a magnetic in which its magnetic force can be experienced. It should be the area around a magnet in which its magnetic force can be experienced. Number 1. Field lines arise from north pole and end in the south pole of the magnet. Number 2. Field lines never intersect each other. Number 3. Field lines are closer in stronger magnetic field. Number 4. Field lines are closed curves. Let us move to the next question. What is a solenoid? Coil of many circular turns of insulated copper wire wrapped closely in cylindrical form is known as solenoid. Next one. Define electromagnetic induction. The process by which a changing magnetic field in a conductor induces a current in another conductor. Next one, question number 100. What is the advantage of alternate current? The answer is, it can be transmitted over long distance without much loss of energy. Here we are seeing the diagram of germination of pollen grains, which is also very important for the examination. Question number 101. Name 2 safety measures commonly used in electric circuits and appliances. Number 1, use of earthing. Number 2, use of fuse. These are some of the safety measures commonly used in electric circuits and appliances. Next question. What precautions should be taken to avoid the overloading of domestic electric circuits? Precautions which should be taken are: number 1, too many appliances should not be connected to a single socket. Too many appliances should not be used at the same time, and the fuse should be connected in the circuit. Next one. Differentiate between dynamo and motor. Dynamo, it converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Here the principle is electromagnetic induction. Here magnetic effect of electric current. Question number 104. List the characteristics of a good fuel. The characteristics of a good fuel are: they have high calorific value, less smoke, easy availability, less expensive, easy to store and transport, less polluting. Next question. What is the major component of biogas? What are the advantages of using biogas? The major component of the biogas is the methane. We all know that methane is the major component of biogas. Advantages of using biogases are: it is renewable source of energy, it causes less pollution. Next important diagram for the examination: image formed by the concave lens. Next question. List the disadvantages of A. Nuclear energy, B. Wind energy. We can see the advantages of number 1, nuclear energy, risk of nuclear waste leakage, high cost of setting up of nuclear plant, pollution of environment. And the B, wind energy, disadvantages are a minimum wind speed of 15 km per second is required. Setting up windmills is very expensive. Next question. Mention the advantages and disadvantages associated with solar cells. Let us see the advantages associated with solar cells here. They have no moving parts. They require little maintenance. They can be set up in remote areas. And the disadvantages associated with solar cells are availability of silicon is limited. The process of manufacture is very expensive. Silver used for interconnection of the cells in the panel is very costly. Their efficiency is low. Next question. Give any 2 methods for waste disposal. By recycling and minimizing the use of non-biodegradable wastes. By producing useful products like biogas, compost, vermin compost, etc. from the biodegradable wastes. Next question. Write the cause for depletion of ozone layer. Write its effect and measure to save it. Depletion of ozone layer is caused by CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbons. Effects are cancer in human beings, loss of immunity in humans, destruction of aquatic life and vegetation. Steps taken to limit the damage of the ozone layer is reducing the use of CFCs. Next one, distinguish between biodegradable and non-biodegradable substances. Biodegradable substances decomposed by microorganisms. Here, non-biodegradable substances not decomposed by microorganisms. In biodegradable substances do not cause biomagnification. Here, non-biodegradable substances cause biomagnification. Examples of biodegradable substances: kitchen wastes, paper, sewage, etc. Examples of non-biodegradable substances are plastic, metal cans, glass, polymers, etc. Image formed by the convex lens. These are the important diagrams for the examination. Case 1, object at infinity. Case 2, object at beyond 2f. Case 3, object at 2f. Case 4, object in between f and 2f. Case 5, object at f. Case 6, object distance less than f. Next question. Question number 111. List eco-friendly habits. The eco-friendly habits are using paper bags instead of plastic bags, using public transportation system, planting the trees, proper disposal of waste products. Next question. List the 5 R's with example. We can see the 5 R's here. Number 1, refuse. Products that can harm the environment, we should refuse those. For example, plastic carry bags. Next one, reduce. We should reduce the use of the natural resources. For example, electricity, water and fossil fuels. Next one, reuse. Using the things again and again. For example, the plastic bottles, envelopes, paper, etc. Next R is repurpose. Using things for some other useful purposes. For example, cracked crockery or cups with broken handles can be used to grow small plants and as feeding vessels for birds. The next one is recycle. Used plastic, paper, glass and metal items. These should be recycled. These are the 5 R's with their examples. Next question. What is rainwater harvesting? Harvested rainwater should underground gardens has many advantages. Give reasons. harvested rainwater stored underground has many advantages. The reasons: first, let us see the rainwater harvesting. Collecting, storing and using rainwater. This is the rainwater harvesting. The advantages of harvesting the rainwater we can see here. Harvested rainwater stored underground has many advantages. Number one, the water stored underground does not evaporate. Number two, provides moisture for vegetation over a wide area. Number three, enriches the water table and recharges groundwater sources. Number four, protected from contamination by human and animal wastes. Number five, doesn't promote breeding grounds from mosquitoes and pests. Next question. List the problems caused by the construction of large dams. Problems which are caused by the construction of large dams are: number one, social problems, rehabilitation of people. Number two, economic problems, spending of huge amount of public money and less benefits. Number three, environmental problems, deforestation and the loss of biological diversity, production of greenhouse gas by submerged biomass. Next question. Suggest some approaches towards the conservation of forests. Number one, afforestation and reforestation. Number two, checking the forest fire and cutting of trees. Number three, developing social forests. Number four, building of national parks, sanctuaries and biosphere reserves. These are some of the approaches towards the conservation of forests. Next, we are seeing the diagram, one more diagram here, field lines around a bar magnet. These are some of the important questions which may be useful for the upcoming examinations. Next, let us move to the one more important point here, electron dot structures. Here we are seeing the hydrogen molecule, single bond is here, two electrons are participating here, single bond. O2 molecule, it has double bond. N2 molecule which has triple bond. Methane, CH4. Ethane, C2H6. Ethene, C2H4. This is an example for alkane. This is an example for alkene. Alkanes contain single bond between the carbon atoms. Here in alkenes we can see double bond. Next, structural formulae of benzene, C6H6. These are some of the important electron dot structures which may be useful for the examination. And the questions which we have seen in today's class are being prepared by the state resource person Shri Raghavendra Bhatt sir. Thanking him once again. In next session, let us see some of the important points which are related to the SSLC science and for the examinations. Thank you.